They didn't get arrested.
They didn't break any windows either, though,
That's true.
or they did not take any Nikes that I saw.
All they wanted was haircuts. They just wanted haircuts.
So they did. Me too. Yeah. Actually, I'm waiting till I get my Uncle Don ponytail going here.
You can get one of those attached to a cap.
Another 4 weeks. Oh, this is attached. Don't ruin it for me. No, I remember the cap.
I've gone haircutless for a while too. They closed all the barbershops, man.
They have. Ours are opening up this week, though. How about Iowa? Is everything pretty much opened up there?
Yeah, pretty much.
No.
I noticed in Philadelphia there's 150,000 people marching together. So if you owned a barbershop, you might think, boy, can I give a haircut? So there's a lot of stuff going on here. There's a lot of juxtaposition here in this. It's a little crazy.
They did a very peaceful, calm protest Friday night for 24 hours, like from Friday at 5 o'clock till Saturday at 5 o'clock. And one of the
Paul, you're really hard to hear.
Yeah, I can barely hear you too. It was 3 o'clock, honey.
How's that? Well, they did a 24-hour protest at
in Ames.
And one of the things they were doing during the 24 hours was giving free haircuts.
Oh, really?
I missed it though. Yeah, things in Ames have been amazingly peaceful.
2020 has been very interesting for us all, I think.
Yeah.
How's it affecting you, Rick, out there in your business?
June. Well, we've been really lucky. It's going to affect us. Because, get in the minutia and the weeds, because commercial airline flights are slowing down. So we make parts for those airplanes. So we're a little bit down from the as far as the product. It'll be a couple months, but it will affect us. But we were lucky; we were considered essential because we did defense work. So we kept our 6 feet separation, wore masks, and California just has not, probably like Iowa, we just have not seen the numbers. And so people remained healthy as far as COVID.
I've become pretty convinced that it's weather related, that really does lessen off in the spring and the summer. And then in the fall and winter, especially in colder climates, it'll get worse again.
I think weather's part of it, but I think it's also mass transit.
It's just the Northeast corridor just got hit hard. Plus, they have airports. They receive people. New York and that area, New Jersey, get from the world. They receive people from Europe, from China, and it hit them really hard early.
And it's huge mass transit.
Yeah, and that too. Yeah, and people live on top of each other. You guys don't have too many 40-story apartment buildings, nor do we actually. But that's common.
If you haven't done this, you don't necessarily need to, but it is kind of interesting that the Weather Channel added a thing that is COVID update. So as we're driving across South Dakota and we're in Jones County, you can see Jones County has, South Dakota has 0 cases, 0 deaths. You can, wherever you're at or whatever county you want to pick on, you can see how many cases they have. And it's really quite
0 cases, 0 deaths, and 14 people.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But even Hill City, which is where Rapid City, South Dakota is, has, had 257 cases, and they have 120,000 people in their county. So
in Iowa, if it wasn't for nursing homes and packing plants, we would have a third or quarter of our cases.
That's exactly right.
In New York, if it wasn't for nursing homes, they would have 30% less. Yeah. I mean, the most vulnerable have been hit the hardest. It just, it's really maybe instead of closing everybody in, protect the most vulnerable. But in hindsight, I mean, who knows? Everybody's trying to do the best they can. They're a big learning curve, but yeah.
There's Lucas.
Oh, baby.
Hey, Lucas.
Oh, good.
Oh, another special guest.
Another special guest.
Are you being? That's down. Is that allowed to go skip a generation?
Yeah, really.
Due to child labor laws, we can only have him on screen for minutes.
Minutes. Bring in his body double.
Now,
Oh,
you
sweetheart.
need a little light now to really see him.
Yeah. Now we need the light.
I can't figure out the lights in this
Where's your
house.
cell phone? Just shine your cell phone in his face.
Here.
I've been pretty out of touch.
It's the
But-
weekend.
No,
And
he's
now they have
been on the road.
Oh, that's right. You've been on the road. That's right.
Last 5 days, I should say.
Yeah.
But Sioux City's still pretty heavy
Oh,
into COVID. It's
I
just continues to be a trying time in healthcare, and
Yeah.
you know, I quite frankly couldn't be luckier getting out what I am, quite frankly.
well,
Well, I was thinking, in fact, you're about 6 months too late.
Yeah, well, 6 months too late, but actually, the way it's working, I'm working from home, and so I'm getting 4 months more pay, you know,
it's
while
like
I'm
it's like
Yeah.
retirement with pay.
yeah, exactly. So it's working all right along the way, but I feel bad for the healthcare workers. I mean,
Right.
not the administrative people, but you know, it's the Breeze of the world,
Right.
Hmm.
The people in the trenches.
the docs, and the people that are laid off because you know,
Yeah, that's the brutal part. Our local medical center here in Los Alamitos, and it's got a good emergency center and I don't know what, it's a 300-bed hospital or something, but yeah, and they've really suffered the downturn, laid people off, nurses in the middle of the COVID. They just haven't had the patients, and people aren't going to the hospital.
No.
well, the
We're
reality is
running
that because of COVID, we stopped all elective surgeries.
Mhm.
Right.
Elective-
And their knee
elective
replaced, their hip replaced.
But elective surgeries are what funds hospitals' existence. And
Let the baby
so
talk, Dan.
Yeah.
you kind of end up, you know, in a situation where now you're basically a community health center, and community health centers aren't
Don't make
funded.
money.
Mhm.
And
No, they handle it like kind of like restaurants. They shut down all the elective stuff. If it
Well,
was an
even-
emergency, they kind of closed it down, and you got to pay your bills.
And even now that stuff's kind of opened up, we both went in for blood work at the lab at the clinic this week, and it was a ghost town. There was just nobody in there.
Yeah.
we're back to 62% of our clinic volumes now across the state, but 20 of that is done via video like this.
Oh, gotcha.
So
Yeah.
really 40% are in the house, 20% are out, and 40% are gone.
In February, I got my first of 2 shingle shots, and now I'm scheduled for the second one, the second shingle shot. Can I get that over a video conference?
Whatever you say, whatever you
You
say.
get it at Walmart, though.
No,
No, not if you've got the second one.
yeah, I've
or
already got the first one done.
I was trying to remember the name of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. What was Charlie's last name?
Well,
Charlie
don't know.
Chaplin. No.
Bucket.
I don't remember. All I remember is
What was it, Kirsten?
Bucket.
yes.
Charlie
Bucket.
Buckets.
That's what you say,
You
Charlie
shouldn't talk
Bucket.
like that in front of the children, in front of the
Remember
child.
when- Remember when the little boy? What was the little boy's name that one of the candy bars sent to him electronically? And
Oh,
then
TV.
Mike TV.
Mike TV.
Mike TV, yeah. So whatever you say, Mike TV. That's
yeah, that's
if I was
funny.
a little better, I'd have had that line.
It's funny.
Yeah,
in
you
in
whipped that
story-
right out there, Danny boy.
It'd have been funny if you'd have done that. It's funny, Dan. That was the guy I identified most with in that story when I read it.
But here's the deal: if I'd have said whatever you say, Mike TV, it would have flown right over all your heads. So I had to.
That would- yes, that would, yes.
What a guy.
You just
Yeah.
explain it one way or another.
Yeah.
I identify with Charlie's father. Never seen on film, but his job was screwing the caps on the tubes of the toothpaste factor.
That's right. That's
I
right.
remember from the book. And I always said, well, that doesn't sound too bad, really.
And the
Apparently,
grandparents
he didn't make enough money to get.
and the grandparents all four of
folks
them in
out
one
of
bed
bed
like
but-
this. It's like nothing creepy about that.
And what's Grandpa Charlie laying in bed, for 4 years, and then the golden ticket shows up, and he jumps up and dances and shit.
Exactly. That is exactly.
Hey,
I
man,
remember
how
that
about
book.
sweeping once in a while? You know, or
Who
I
had?
think I think Grandpa Charlie was just basically, using his daughter-in-law for free lunch.
Okay, I want to ask who had Charlie and the Chocolate Factory on their bingo card tonight?
or Mike TV even.
Yeah, or Mike TV. Yeah.
Yeah.